There are things no one teaches us how to face when they quietly disappear. Hello, my friend. I'm Phil, 66 years old, living in a small village in Ohio. And today I want to tell you a story, not about someone far away, but very possibly your story. It began one night. I was lying in bed next to my wife. Everything was peaceful, yet for some reason, I felt empty inside. That feeling was gone. No more heartbeats racing from a glance. My body, once my strongest companion, now felt like it was quietly stepping away. I didn't tell anyone. Because we're men, we often stay silent. But the more silent I became, the more I felt like I was losing something deeply important. Not just a feeling, but the belief that I was still fully alive. Then one evening, I tried something very small, just placed my hand over my lower abdomen, breathed gently, and listened to myself again. No expectations, no goals. But within a few minutes, I felt warm again. Not just in my body, but in my soul. From that moment on, I knew I hadn't disappeared. I had simply been forgotten. And today, if you're hearing me speak, I want to ask you just one small thing, a tiny thing, but enough for me to know I'm not speaking alone. Which state in the U.S. are you watching this from? Or which country in the world? Leave the name of your place in the comments below, because maybe, just maybe, from that place, a healing journey might begin. In the next few minutes, I'll share with you a gentle and profound journey. No pills, no surgery, no talk of strength or dominance, just a way to awaken the aliveness inside you, little by little, with your own hands and your own heart. If you're still here, then come walk with me, because sometimes just one quiet moment is enough to awaken an entire life that has fallen asleep. Number 1, the silent shift. When your body changes without warning. I still remember that feeling so clearly. One morning I woke up. Everything was just as it always was. Sunlight gently spilled through the curtains. The fireplace crackled softly in the living room, and the smell of coffee, my wife's daily brew, lingered in the air. But something inside me had changed. It wasn't pain, it wasn't illness. It was a kind of silence I couldn't name. My body, the companion that had walked with me for over 60 years, no longer responded the way it used to. I started feeling tired more easily. The warmth of thick blankets no longer chased away the cold within, and the scariest part was that I no longer felt desire for anything. Have you ever felt that way? It doesn't come with a warning, no specific moment. It's quiet, like the ticking of a clock running out of battery, bit by bit, until one day you realize, I've lost something, but I can't remember when it slipped away. One day, I brought this up with Dr. Mohit Kara, someone I deeply respect and have followed for years. He looked at me with a kind smile and said something I'll never forget. Phil, your body isn't getting weaker. It's just trying to survive by shutting down the parts it thinks you no longer need. I froze. So that's it. When we stop touching our own bodies, when we stop allowing ourselves to feel, then even the body itself stops believing it matters. Dr. Kara shared with me stories of thousands of men, over 60-some, plagued by sleepless nights, some feeling cold and distant, others convinced they were past their prime. But then, after just a few weeks, when they began practicing small, conscious touches each night, something incredible happened. They didn't just feel warmth return to their bodies, they began to hear themselves again. And that's the first lesson I want to share with you today. Sometimes the first thing we lose isn't health. It's the belief that we're still worthy of being touched. My friend, if you've ever asked yourself, why do I feel like I'm slowly fading away? Please don't blame yourself. It's not your fault. It's a gentle signal that it may be time to flip the switch that quietly turned off long ago. And in the next part, I'll talk about one of the most dangerous myths many men carry with them after 60. A myth that makes them settle for simply getting by, instead of truly living. It's that familiar phrase, it's just aging. But is it really just age? We'll explore that right after this. Number 2, the dangerous myth, it's just aging. I don't know about you, but when my body started to go quiet, the first thing I told myself was, "It's probably just age." That phrase sounds reasonable, doesn't it? When your back begins to ache, when sleep gets shallow, when your partner's eyes seem more distant, you nod to yourself and say, "Yeah, it's just aging." But you know what? It was Dr. Mohit Kara who helped me look at that belief, and he called it a dangerous myth. In one of our conversations, he told me about patients in their 60s, just like me, who came to him already defeated. Some had given up on intimacy. Some refused to try anything new because they believed, "I'm too old for that now." Then Dr. Kara would show them their test results. Hormones, still there. Circulation, still working. Feeling, just asleep. And then he'd say gently, "The human body doesn't just stop working because of a number." But what gave me chills was this line: "When we blame aging, we reject the chance to be reborn." You see, sometimes we're not weak, we just believe we are. And that belief is what holds us back. It makes us stop caring. It makes us retreat into a shell of old age that isn't even real. Let me tell you about Ronald, 72 years old, a retired Marine living in South Texas. He once told his wife, "I don't think my body needs you anymore. I guess I'm just old." And so, for 4 years, they lived side by side, like roommates, until one day his wife sent him a video, much like the one you're watching now. He gave it a try, just 5 minutes a night, no expectations. No one knew. By the second week, he reached across and held her hand at dinner. By the third week, he whispered, "I'm sorry. It wasn't age. It was me. I forgot how to listen to you and to myself." That's when I understood. We don't need to be young again. We just need to reconnect. Reconnect with sensation. Reconnect with ourselves. Reconnect with our partners. And to do that, the first step is to take off the mask called "I'm just old." In the next part, I'll show you why stopping touch, both physical and emotional, is what causes the body to quietly shut down, and what the very first step is to reconnect, not with words, but with the gentle act of listening through touch. It's a part I call the forgotten touch. Why physical connection matters more than you think. We'll continue right after this. Number 3, the forgotten touch. Why physical connection matters more than you think. Have you ever noticed that somewhere along the way, we started touching less? Not because we stopped loving, not because we stopped needing, but because something quietly slipped away in the rhythm of daily life. A bit of awkwardness, silence, and a handful of unspoken misunderstandings. I used to think, if the feeling isn't there anymore, what's the point of touching? But I was completely wrong. Because according to Dr. Mohit Kara, touch is not just about pleasure, it's about awakening. He once told me, "Phil, physical touch is a signal, not a reward. When we stop sending that signal, the body stops responding." Science has a name for it: neural deactivation. When a sensory area of the body is no longer touched regularly, the nerves there start to weaken, blood flow slows, sensations fade. The body misinterprets this as, "This area is no longer needed." And slowly, it shuts down like a light that no one ever turns on. My old friend Martin, 68, from California, once told me, "My wife and I still share a bed, but we haven't touched in nearly 3 years. Not because they didn't love each other, but simply because neither had reached out in too long." And over time, both began to feel unneeded. You know one of the saddest things Dr. Kara ever shared with me? The very first function the body begins to shut down is intimacy. Not because it's unimportant, but because it's the easiest to forget. The right kind of touch, not forceful, not sexual, just gentle and intentional, is like knocking on a door that hasn't been opened in years. At first there's dust, a little stiffness, but then the door opens and light pours in. And the most beautiful part? You don't need anyone else to begin. Just yourself and 15 minutes each night. In the next part, I'll share with you something I call the 15-minute miracle. A small habit I've kept for the past 2 years. No medication, no one watching, but it completely changed how I feel inside my own body. You don't have to return to age 30, so you just need to return to yourself. Gently and with warmth. We'll continue right after this. Number 4. The 15-minute miracle. How gentle touch restores energy and intimacy. Someone once asked me, "Phil, what did you do to reconnect with your body again?" I smiled because the answer wasn't a special pill or a machine or some expensive expert advice. It was a very small act, just 15 minutes each night. I call it the 15-minute miracle because it changed how I see myself, my body, and my relationship with the woman I love. At first, I didn't really believe in it. Gentle massage around the lower belly, inner thighs, perineum. What could that possibly do? But Dr. Mohit Kara explained it like this. The body doesn't heal through pressure. It heals through presence. When you place your hand on your body, not to test, not to fix something, but simply to listen and feel, your body receives a message. I am still loved. I still matter. And once the body believes that, it starts to respond. After just the first 4 nights, I began to feel warmth returning to my lower belly, deeper sleep, and in the mornings, I no longer woke up with that hollow emptiness, not strong like before, but a quiet sense of aliveness, as if my body whispered, "I'm still here. Thank you for coming back." This isn't some magic technique. It's a habit. A choice to give yourself 15 minutes each night, turn off the TV, set the phone down, and have a conversation with yourself, not with words, but with intentional touch. I used to wonder, how could something so gentle ever change anything? But then I realized, we don't touch to change. We touch to remember that we can change. And that is the real miracle. In the next part, I'll walk you through each step, where to place your hands, how to move, how to breathe, to turn those 15 minutes into a gentle ritual of awakening. No one else needed, no perfect way to do it, just you choosing to return. That part is what I call step-by-step awakening, the 6 touch rituals that changed everything. We'll continue by basically right after this. Number 5, step-by-step awakening, the 6 touch rituals that changed everything. I remember so clearly how it felt the first time I did this ritual. I had just stepped out of a warm shower. No TV, no phone, just a quiet room and a 66-year-old man sitting down, placing his hands on his own body. Not to check for anything, but to listen to what once felt alive. Dr. Mohit Kara once told me, most men want a breakthrough, but what they really need is a return. A return, not to youth, but to that deep sense that they are still fully alive. I want to share with you the 6 simple steps I've practiced each night. Nothing complicated, no medical degree needed, just you, with gentleness and patience. Step 1. Warming the lower belly. Sit comfortably, place both hands on your lower belly just below the navel. Gently massage in small, slow circles for 1 to 2 minutes. No pressure, no force. The goal, to awaken sensory nerves and encourage blood flow to return. Step 2. Stroking the inner thighs. With your palms, softly stroke from your inner thighs up toward the groin. Repeat 6 to 8 times on each side. It's like directing water back into a dry field. You're reminding your body that this area still matters. Step 3. Circular motion around the base. Use your index finger and thumb to form a soft circle around the base of the penis. Move gently in circular motions. No squeezing, no stimulation. You don't need to feel anything. Just send the signal. Dr. Kara's reminder. Touch to awaken, not to finish. Step 4. The perineum circle. Using your middle and ring fingers, softly massage in circles around the perineum, the space between the scrotum and the anus. This is often a spot of hidden tension, leading to numbness or shame. Many men have told me, it felt like I could finally take a deep breath from deep in my belly. Step 5. Breathe and hold. Keep your hand gently resting on the perineum. Close your eyes. Inhale deeply through the nose. Exhale slowly through the mouth for 1 to 2 minutes. Do nothing else. Just breathe and listen. This is when the nervous system starts to store a new memory of aliveness. Step 6. Gentle ending. When your body feels warm and awareness has returned, stop. No rush. No checking for results. Just sit still. Feel the calm in your body and the part of you that has come home again. I know in the beginning you might not feel much, but please don't be discouraged. Remember, you're not doing this to prove anything. You're doing it to simply be with yourself. In the next part, I'll share with you the most beautiful thing that happened after a few weeks of practicing these 6 steps, not just inside of me, but in the eyes of the woman who has been beside me for over 40 years. That part is called When She Noticed, Rebuilding Emotional Connection Without Words. We'll continue right after this. Number 6. When She Noticed, Rebuilding Emotional Connection Without Words. I remember one morning, about 2 weeks into practicing the 15-minute ritual I shared with you, I was sitting there drinking my coffee, just like every other day. My wife walked into the kitchen. She didn't say anything, but when her eyes passed over me, I saw something small but incredibly deep. Her gaze softened. It lightened, as if she was seeing me for the first time after a long while. You know what? I never told her about the 6 steps I was doing each night. I didn't promise to change. I wasn't trying to prove I was back. I simply chose to show up for myself, gently, consistently. And the miracle was, she felt it. Dr. Mohit Kara once said, "You don't need to impress your partner. You just need to be present with yourself, and they'll feel it." And I believe that's true, because aliveness doesn't need to perform. It radiates naturally, like the aroma of morning coffee, quiet, effortless, and unmistakable. I didn't return as a man in his 30s, but I returned with clearer eyes, warmer hands, and a heart that knew it was still beating. That night, when I lay beside her, I didn't turn my back like I used to. I placed my hand gently on hers, no words, and she didn't pull away like before. She held it back, like a quiet yes, without saying a thing. You see, connection doesn't always need words. Sometimes it only takes presence, a soft gaze, a quiet moment shared. Someone once asked me, "Phil, do you think those 6 steps saved your marriage?" I don't know. All I know is they saved me. And once I came alive again, our relationship followed gently, naturally, without forcing it. In the next part, I'll share with you why those simple 15 minutes each night can actually change your body's biology, and how consistency, not intensity, holds more power than any therapy. That part is called The Power of Consistency, Why Just 15 Minutes Can Change Your Biology. We'll continue right after this. Number 7. The Power of Consistency, Why Just 15 Minutes Can Change Your Biology. Let me be honest with you. I used to be the kind of person who started things with great excitement, then gave up just as quickly. There were moments I thought, just 15 minutes a night? How could that possibly change anything real? But then I remembered something Dr. Mohit Kara once said during a seminar. It's not the intensity that changes your biology, it's the consistency. Science has confirmed this. Your sensory nerves can relearn even after years of being neglected, and if they receive the right signals repeatedly every day, it's like watering a withered plant. You don't need to flood it, just a little each day in the right spot, at the right time, and a life returns, slowly but surely. I started with 5 minutes, then 10, then 15, and each night, it wasn't an exercise. It became a quiet appointment with myself, not to achieve something, but simply to remember who I am. After about 3 weeks, I began to notice changes without anyone pointing them out. I slept better. I wasn't as irritable. I started hearing my own emotions. Not like before, not loud or intense, but soft, like a whisper. I'm still here. I still want to live, not just survive. Dr. Kara explained this as the neurological accumulation effect. Every time you touch, breathe deeply, and connect, you're sending a signal of life to your central nervous system, and over a few weeks your body begins to rebuild the sensory pathways that had once shut down. In other words, and the body doesn't respond to what you do once, it responds to what you repeat with presence and sincerity. And the most powerful part? I no longer had to try to feel something. The feeling simply began to return to say, like a familiar guest who remembered their way home. And in the next and final part, I'd like to share something deeply personal with you. What happened when I looked at myself in the mirror nearly 2 months into this 15-minute nightly ritual. It wasn't the face of an old man staring back. It was the face of someone who had come back to himself, radiant and fully human. That final part is called, "You're Still Here, and You Deserve to Be Seen Again." Come walk with me one last time. Number 8. You're still here, and you deserve to be seen again. One early morning in March, I stood in front of the mirror like I always do, but this time, I didn't just see the silver hair, the wrinkles, or the age spots on my cheek. I saw my own eyes clearly again. No longer hollow, no longer tired, but present, alive, and deep. I looked and quietly thought to myself, "Phil, you're still here. You've just been forgotten for too long." Maybe you're like me. You once believed a part of you was lost forever. Maybe it was desire. Maybe it was the sense of connection. Or worse, maybe it was the belief that you still matter. But my friend, if you're still here, still listening to me after all this time, then I believe you were never gone. You've just been waiting to be seen again. Dr. Mohit Kara once told me, "The body never gives up on us. It waits patiently for us to return." And now I believe that with all my heart, because I've lived it. Our bodies don't need us to be 30 again. They just need us to come back with gentleness, with persistence, and with a little courage. If tonight you give yourself just 15 minutes, not to fix anything, but simply to listen inward, then maybe a week from now, a month from now, you'll be the one telling someone else, "I thought I was done, but turns out I was just forgotten." If you're feeling something right now, a little warmth, a gentle sigh, or simply a quiet pause inside you, then please leave a comment below with the number 8. Not so I can count, but so you can see yourself again and remember that you are still here and you still deserve to be seen. Where are you watching from? Which state in America or which corner of the world? Please share it in the comments so I and the others walking this path with you can know. We are not alone. We are a community of those returning to ourselves. Thank you for walking this journey with me. I'm Phil, 66 years old from Ohio, a man who once thought his light had gone out, but who now knows he is alive again, moment by moment, because of one small thing, 15 minutes each night, and a quiet belief that it's never too late. If this video meant something to you, hit down and subscribe so you won't miss what's next. And please share this with your partner, your old friend, because sometimes just one reminder like "I'm still here" or "I still feel you" can change the rest of someone's life.